right now at the moment, Victor, and if we just bring in our N-Central server and we scroll down to configuration, correct me if I'm wrong, Victor, but what you're doing at the moment is you're coming into your scheduled tasks, you're going to your scripts and software repository, you're loading in your third-party push, so in terms of push third-party software, and I have one here for 7-zip already, so I've just loaded up the actual file, and then I've used my command line parameters to actually deploy this as such. So what happens is when you go to run this against a group of machines, so if we come down here to our filters, we'll just go down and use our workstation laptops filter. And we'll pick a device and we'll choose one that's in my lab at the moment. So we'll just pick Celtic Cider. You're going to add task. You're using the push third-party software option here. And we'll choose from the repository 7-zip. We'll call it office hours test. We're saving that. And we'd expect that to push out immediately onto that device as such. So the problem you're facing there, Victor, is that this may work on the machine or it may not, but you don't have that insight as to whether it's working or not. So we can see at the moment that it's pending in here, or it's completed already. So let me just refresh that there. So let's choose the last runtime. So we have our office hours test. It completed with errors. We click into this here. We go to the status, but we don't see actually what happened with it as such. So you're limited when you use the push third-party software, Victor, to see what was going on there. What you potentially could do as a workaround is, rather than using the push third-party software, is use Automation Manager. Because if you use Automation Manager, you're going to have more input and more output as a result of how that script runs as well. So if I come into my desktop tab here and I go to my amps folder, and I can never find the right one that I want. Then I check and install 7-zip. So rather than just loading up the executable into the push third-party software option, if you have a script or a policy builder where it goes, is application installed, and then if it equals to false, then create a folder, download the URL that you want to install, and then run that program here. When you run it through N-Central, you're going to have far more output or when you run it through Automation Manager, Victor, excuse me, sorry, you're going to have far more output as a result of that script. So that would probably give you a better indicator if something goes wrong with the deployment as such. So if third-party push works and it's a simple little application that you want to push out, then by all means use it within the N-Central environment. If you're struggling with it, or if it tends to be a more complex application that you're deploying, then maybe look at Automation Manager to push out those third-party applications, as you're going to have probably more output as a result of the scripts running to diagnose where the issues were in that scenario as well.